Hey there, my friends. Welcome into another edition of Teach Me Tuesday. I'm super excited to be here today to share with you a new one-sheet wonder using a 6x6 piece of paper that I created that I wanted to share with you today. I actually created it as part of my paper share last week. We had our paper share party last week, and I created this to show them a really fun way to use up some of all the paper that they received. They got over 160 pieces of 6x6 paper, so I wanted to show them a fun way to use that. So I created this one-sheet wonder to use up a piece of 6x6 paper to make 4 cards. So if you're on my email list, you'll automatically get the cutting template, which I will send in my email today, as well as the PDF tutorials for the cards themselves, so you'll automatically get that. If you're not already on my mailing list, you should really join, so you should hop on over to Buy the Shore Stamping on Facebook, and I'll put the link in the description of this video as well, and join my mailing list so you'll get these freebies automatically. But if not, you can always send me an email at jenpitta@comcast.net, and I can send that over to you as well. All right, so today I'm just using a few minimal supplies. I used Whisper White as my cardstock. We'll need the 1 sheet of paper. You'll need a stamp set with the sentiments, 1 neutral ink color. I used linen thread and some bling, and then we're going to make 4 really cute simple cards. And then I'll show you the measurements for the coordinating cardstock as well. So let me just first show you the cards. So I've made 2 versions of this. This was my original version that I used when I designed the samples. This one is using 1 sheet of the flowers for every season, and I pulled out the cinnamon cider color as my coordinating cardstock. So you'll see, whoops, that's 1. And then there's, whoops, here's number 2, here's number 3, and here's number 4. And then I did it again when I did the video for my paper share party. So my second version is still using the flowers for every season pattern paper and the same stamp set and supplies, but this is version number 1, version number 2, version number 3, and version number 4. Okay, so now we're going to do it again, same pack of paper again, but we're going to use another sheet of cardstock and see how it comes out, okay? So the one thing I wanted to show, though, is that you want to make sure you're using a pattern paper that's kind of an all-over pattern, and it doesn't really matter which direction you cut it in. Like this one wouldn't be great because when you cut it on the angle, you're going to end up having sideways flowers or upside-down flowers, so then it won't work as well. So I'm going to try, let me see. I'm going to try, see if I can find, I'm going to try this one. It kind of has an upside down and a right side up, but not really, because like when this one is like this flower is up right side up and that side's upside down. So I think it's kind of an all over pattern, so I think it will work. So let's go ahead and cut this up now. And again, if you're on my mailing list, you'll get this cutting template in your email today. And if you're not, you should be, and you should hop on over and sign up. And you can always just email me if it doesn't come through, and I will go ahead and send it over. So our first cut is going to be 6 by 2, like this, okay? And then we're going to turn it on the side, and we're going to do 2 by 4, and then 3 by 4, and then we have this little piece here that's 1 inch, and we're going to cut that at a 1/2 inch so that it's 2 1/2-inch pieces. So I'm going to pull out my Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer because I can do 1/2 inch better on this one. Okay, so I'm going to cut this one like this, cut that right in half, and now I have 2 little pieces here. And while I have this out, my first piece that I cut, the 2 by 4, I'm going to go ahead and cut this at 1 by 4 for each of these. Whoops, I moved that. So let's go ahead and put that back. 1, 1, and 1. There we go. And then the last thing I need to do is just to cut the 6 by 2 piece. I'm going to cut that at, let me just check, 5.5. So I want to put this in here, and I'm just going to cut this at 5.5, like that. Okay? And then that's everything we'll use. And we'll use all those pieces I just cut. The only thing we don't use is this one little tiny piece here. So I'm going to move that out of the way. Now, in your PDF tutorials that you'll receive in your email, you'll also get the measurements for the coordinating cardstock. So you need the 4 pieces of coordinating a coordinating color. So I pulled out the Just Jade, which is one of the colors in this paper, and you have a 2.5 by 5.5, a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4, a 5 1/4 by 1/2 inch, and a 1.5 inch circle. I'll also put the measurements down in this description as well. You'll also need 2 strips for your sentiment. These measure 3/4 of an inch, and one is 4 inches and one is 3 3/4 inches. And then I used one of the labels from the Tasteful Labels dies, and then the Timeless Label punch for my other 2 sentiments. And then you need 4 card bases. I just used the Whisper White card base, so it would just be a neutral tone for me to actually use for the base. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half to start my card, and we'll just crease that with our bone folder because it is the thick Whisper White, so it's going to be a little sturdier and probably need a little bit of guidance here. And then it's really just about assembling and stamping. So it's really quick once you do that simple cutting. And again, you'll have all the measurements and the PDF tutorial in your email today if you're on my mailing list. All right, so first step we're going to do is the card number 1. So we'll take the 6-inch piece that we had and this 5.5. It's 5.5 by 2 1/4 for this one, and 5.5 by 2 for the pattern paper. And we're going to go ahead and just tape those together. Now remember, at the beginning I said it really quickly, so you may have forgotten. We also want a simple like linen thread or white twine or something like that to coordinate with your card as well. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I think I need to trim this off a little bit because I didn't cut it exactly the way I should. So we'll just trim off that excess like that. And then I'm going to grab my linen thread and I'm going to tie this around the bottom. I'm actually going to do it, I'm going to wrap it a couple times and then tie it in a bow. So I'm going to hold it over here and then I will wrap that like that. And I'm going to cut this and I'm going to tie this in a knot and I will create a bow here. Sorry, it's a little chaotic in my house, so I'm not sure if you heard that. We almost had an invasion, but I'm going to keep going. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tie this. Not a real invasion, just in case you don't know. I live with like 6 other people, so there's a lot of people in the house, and one of the kids just came into the room, so one of the downfalls of working from home, right? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tape this down like this. And I'm going to tape this to the card base. So, fortunately, my darling little friend here, Nate, was in the room, so he intervened and stopped the invasion. Alright, so there's that part. Now the next step is just to take the little label that I have, and I'm going to use the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set. And I'm going to use the Congratulations sentiment here. And I'm going to stamp that using Early Espresso. So you need one little neutral color for your greetings for all of them. So I'm going to stamp the Congratulations on reaching a whole new level. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp that right in the middle here. Oop, well, that was not effective. I'm going to flip that over and try that again. And that was better. I kind of missed still a little on the top, but I'm going to let it go because I can fill that in with a marker afterwards. I'm going to move this down just a tiny bit, and I'm going to grab some dimensionals because I want to pop this up a little bit. I think I'm out of the big dimensionals at my desk. I have to... Oh, you know what? I think I have some behind me. Oh well, I'll use this for right now. So, I'm just going to peel off the backings of this and pop this in here like that. Okay, so there's card number 1. Oh, except for we need to add some bling. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of some rhinestones here, make that straight, and add those on the card wherever you want. That's like 3 like that. So that's pretty. I kind of like this pattern paper with this. All right, so card number 2, we're gonna grab the 3x4 piece and our 3x4, I'm sorry, the 3x4 piece of pattern paper and the 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 just jade cardstock. And I'm gonna tape those together like this. And then I'm going to wrap this around and I'm going to tie a little bow again. Did lots of bow tying today, but of course you could do a thicker thicker ribbon and just do a knot if you'd rather. I just feel like wrapping it a couple of times and tying a bow when it's such thin little thread is better. And I liked the thread because it's sort of neutrally and kind of naturey, which I liked. I probably cut myself way too much on this one. So now I'm just going to go ahead and tie this, floof that up a little bit, and I'll cut this off like that. Okay, and now we're just going to go ahead and again take some dimensionals. I'm going to open a new package here because I don't have any of the large ones out right now. So I'll take this and I'm going to go ahead and attach this with dimensionals to my card base. And again, I just used 4 Whisper White card bases to do this card. Actually, for all 3 sets, I used Whisper White as the base. It's just a nice neutral base, and you don't have to worry about what it will look like when you combine the different card styles with the colored cardstock. So, all right, card base like this. And I'm going to center that on my card. Kind of move that down a little bit. Now I'm going to use one of the, I'm going to use the smaller of the 2 Whisper White labels here. And I'm going to use the Thanks a Bunch from the stamp set. And I'm going to stick that onto my cardstock, ink that up. Hopefully I do a better job than I did the last time. And I'm going to ink that right there. There we go. It's a little, I've smudged it a little. This ink pad's really inky. Let me try it again. 2 sides to every piece of paper. It's the beauty of this. There you go. That's perfect. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to let that sit for 1 second just because it's a little juicy here. All right. I'm going to go ahead and cut banner ends in both sides very carefully so I don't smudge that. So you just snip in the middle and then cut corner to center and corner to center like that. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here and again. And now we have the cat who's probably going to try and invade. She's been sleeping all day, but of course once I start talking she thinks I'm talking to her. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put that on with dimensionals as well. You all like the kitty anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but she drives me crazy. Yeah, here she goes. She knows I'm talking about her. Alright, I'm going to tape that down, and then the last thing to do for this one, again, is to add some bling. I'm just going to add a little bit of rhinestones again. And again, I usually use odd numbers because it's a better design principle. So there's card number 2. So number 3, we're going to use those little strips that we cut. I'm going to use, so we have 2 sets of strips. We have the 1x4s and the 1/2 inch. I'm going to use the 1x4s. And we're going to go ahead and do a horizontal card this time. And I'm going to go ahead and get these lined up on my cardstock first. So I'm going to actually kind of position them. And then, oh, but you know what? It looks really cool if you can line them up. Oh, I did. Oh, I got them out of order. Oh, here we go. Nope, that's not it either. I try to line up, there we go. There it is. Okay, I figured it out. See how I'm lining up the flowers so that they're actually together? So when I cut the piece of paper, I try to keep them all in the correct order so that it's basically that piece of paper that I cut apart is now just separated. So you can still see the full pattern without any flowers looking kind of weird. So I didn't keep them together very well when I cut them, but I figured it out. Go me. Okay. So there's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and tape them down because we don't have to do anything else to them. So I want them to stay put. I'm putting about 1/8 of an inch between them just for a little visual interest. I probably should have taped in the corners there too, but it's okay. I can go back and fix that. And then one last one, and of course that just strung so that the adhesive is going to not be right at the top, so I need to rewind it a little bit so that it's back at the top again. And there we go. Okay, so then we'll assemble this last one here, keeping them all straight and in line. And then we had that thin little cardstock strip that we cut, this one here. I'm going to go ahead and cut a banner end in one side, like this, and then corner to center, and corner to center, like that. And we're going to go ahead and put some tape on that. And we'll tape that down. Okay. And then we're just going to use this timeless label punch that we did, and we're going to use the Know That You Are Loved sentiment. So I'll grab another block. Maybe. Oh, here it is. Okay, so we're going to use this one, and I'm still using the same color. I'm just using the Early Espresso. We'll stamp that in the middle, and we'll again put this on with some dimensionals. So I'm just going to go across the middle here. Whoops. I don't even know how that happened, but they just stuck together. Wow. Alright, we'll grab another one. That was really fast. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this down. Right about here. Oh, and of course I got ink on that. I have my lovely little ink eraser. You can get these online. I got mine from my friend Su Ling. So if you're shopping with her, you can add one of these to your little order because they're fabulous. There we go. It's better. Then I'm going to grab the twine, and I'm going to actually double it this time. I'm going to fold it in half so I have a little bit longer piece. And then I'm going to tie a bow with it, and we'll attach it with a glue dot. So I'm just going to tie what I call an air bow. Oops. There we go. And then I'll floof it out a little bit. Doesn't need to be super long. And then I'm just going to trim this end and trim this off like that. So we have a little mini bow. And then I'm going to use a glue dot to attach this onto the card. So we'll just grab that and stick that over here. And then again, we need to add some bling. What did I do with my bling? Here it is. And I'm gonna, actually I didn't on my original ones. I lied. I did not add bling on that one, but you certainly could. Maybe I will, just because I feel like I want to. And I can, because it's my card. I can do what I want. Alright, so there we go. You don't want bling, you don't have to add it, but I like it. Okay, so last card we're gonna do is just these two little strips. And again, if you can kind of keep the, I don't know if I can. I think I was going to try and keep them together, but this one it doesn't really matter that much because we're actually going to separate them anyway. So you're going to go ahead and position them. And before I actually tape them, I make sure that the label just overlaps them. So I don't want them all the way under here like this. You know what I mean? So, because then it's covering up most of the pattern. So you want to make sure that once you tape one down, so you can go ahead and tape the bottom one first. I'm going to tape it like right about here. And I didn't go to the very edge of the card. I kind of left about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to tape that down. And then this one, before you tape this one down, just make sure you're just overlapping those so that you're getting the most amount of the pattern paper showing as possible. And then tape those down. So I'm going to add tape to this and reposition here. So that looks good. So now I just want to make sure it's straight. And I use my grid paper, which is under here, to help me with that. Okay, so there's that. And then I used a Just Jade circle, so another same color as I've been using. This is a 1.5 inch circle punch, so I just punched it out of a scrap piece of cardstock, and I'm going to tape that down to the middle. like that. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and stamp the last sentiment in this stamp set, the Let's Celebrate You. And I'm still using the Early Espresso ink. And I'm just going to stamp that right in the middle. I will tell you that the 3/4 inches tall is just barely going to make it. So it will be a little tiny bit cut off. And actually, I'm going to do that over because I kind of got it too close to one side. And we want it to be kind of even in the middle because we're going to do our pick a label punch on the ends. There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay, I'm going to close this ink pad just so that I don't have any accidents. I've actually been very lucky that I didn't mess that up the whole time I was doing that. So this is the pick your label punch. What I love is you've got 3 different sizes you can use in 2 different designs. So it will do a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, or 1 inch, and it just slips in. So we're doing 3/4. So you can see there's a smaller one underneath for the 1/2 inch, and we're doing the 3/4, and then you can see there's a larger one up top here for the 1 inch pieces of paper. But they just slip right inside. And then you punch, you go all the way to the back, you punch, and it punches the end. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So I wanted this to be, I think it turns out to be about 3 3/4 inches when I'm done. And I cut it at 4. Actually, it comes out to be, yeah, it's about 3 3/4 when I'm done, but I cut the piece of paper originally at 4 because you're going to lose some of it when you punch off the ends. But you don't lose a ton, which is good. Some of the other ones you lose a lot, so you have to cut a lot of extra so that you don't lose it. All right. Oh my goodness, look what I did. I put this on upside down. But we're just going to have this one be a little bit higher. Oh, that's so dumb. I'm a ding-dong. Anyway, we're going to just let this go. Don't do what I do. Make sure you check where the opening is before you start. Okay. Anyway, it'll be fine. It's all good. I'll just add some more bling down there. Which one is the good side? That's the bad side. All right, so I'm going to just put some dimensionals on this, and we're going to go ahead and just let it go. I would sing to you, but you don't really want me to. All right, ready? So we're going to put this down here, okay? And then I'm going to actually add a bigger bow, I think, down here to kind of take up some of that white space. But if it was upside down, it would be better. I don't know. Whatever. It's all good. There'd be white space on the top instead, so it's just backwards. Hi, this is why anybody can do this, because if I can do it, you can do it. Okay, let's go ahead. And this is funny because most of the time I do my videos in one shot. It's one shot kind of thing. I just do it once and I'm done. I don't care what happens. But today, this is the 4th time I've done this video, so I'm kind of just riding with it because it's just not my day for videos apparently. Okay, so, and there I said I was going to do a bigger bow, and what did I do? I did a really small bow. Hello, let's try this again. Okay, we're going to cut this a little bit bigger this time so I can have a bigger bow. Alright, here we go. So, cut like that. Then I'll kind of floof it up a little bit. Like that. It's still not really, I wanted long like tendrils like that, but let me try one more time. Let me see if I can tie this better. There we go. That's better. Okay. There we go. We got it. 3 times is my charm today. Actually, 4. But who's counting? Okay. Cut those. I'm going to trim that off a little bit. We're going to attach this with a little glue dot. And my ends are uneven, so I'll fix that in a second. Hold on. Let me attach this. Good thing this is the last card. I'm not sure I would make it. Okay. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and trim this just a little bit. And then this one definitely needs some bling because there's lots of white space. And I dumped that on the floor. So let's grab that. And I think I'm going to go excessive with my bling here. I'm going to do 7. Because again, we want odd numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm using the little ones. 5, 6, and we'll throw 1 right there. Okay, there we go. That kind of fills the space a little bit. But yeah, it would have been better if I had done it the right way without messing up, but whatever. Okay, here's the 4 different cards. So you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, if you're on my email list, you'll get the cutting directions and all of the coordinating PDFs in your email today. And thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to hit like below, and even better, it makes my day if you go ahead and subscribe. And I will see you again next week for another edition of Teach Me Tuesday. Have a great week. Bye.